Your friends at work, if they know about crypto at all, probably only care about prices and consuming the empty calories in Fibonacci videos. But not you. You understand that over any longer timeline, this game is all about utility. And it's currently looking like Cardano has hatched and executed the perfect plan to be the blockchain that delivers the most utility. And the numbers already show it. Ready? Let's go. Today, we are going to discuss the Cardano adjusted transaction number domination as being more than just a temporary fleeting thing. Weiss Crypto once again saying some very nice things about Cardano, a false DripDropz site, danger lurking for DAOs, the Keep Your Coins Act, and the case for Cardano being the biggest green blockchain becoming more and more important. We are very excited to be launching the Army of Spies Stakepool very, very soon. But we also know that many of you are looking forward to collecting these basically free reverse ISO Sunday Swap tokens. And it looks like, according to this, the snapshot is February 19th, which is this Saturday at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I believe we are going to have the pool live so that for those of you who are interested, you can go through the snapshot and then jump right on over into the Army of Spies stake pool. Something could come up last minute, so don't hold me to it. Something could always come up, but it's currently looking like we will be live and available to you to jump right in after this snapshot on Saturday. You probably remember not too long ago, we saw the adjusted transaction volume of the Cardano blockchain exceed the combined adjusted transaction volume of Ethereum and Bitcoin. And of course, all of us on social media kind of try to amplify that news as much as possible, make sure that everybody knew about it. Because of course, we've been afflicted with this false label of being the ghost chain. And so it probably messed with some people's conceptions of the world when they found out that Cardano was doing so much adjusted transaction volume. But of course, they could have dismissed that as a momentary blip. Maybe we had a giant NFT drop. Maybe we had the launch of some new platform that was destined to fail. They could have come up with a million ways to rationalize Cardano doing that kind of adjusted transaction volume for a moment, for a day or two, for a couple of hours, whatever in their minds was a short period of time. But here we are, days and days and days later, and what do we see? When we filter Masari here for adjusted transaction volume, we find that not only is Cardano doing almost triple the adjusted transaction volume of Ethereum, but we're almost doing as much as Bitcoin. If you look at some of our other competitors, the number 4 is only at 1.58 billion here. We're over in this column where this blue line is. Number 4 is only at 1.58 billion. Ethereum's at 6.78. Cardano is at 17.34 billion. After the number 4 spot, we go all the way down to 183 million. According to this chart, our competitors can't really compete with Cardano in terms of adjusted transaction volume when we're talking about Gen 3 blockchains. If you're a proof of stake smart contract blockchain, and you're on this list, very difficult, at least today, to compete with Cardano in terms of people actually using the blockchain, actual utility. Sure, you could talk about total value locked. You could talk about venture capitalist interest. You could talk about number of DeFi platforms. But if we're talking about people actually using the blockchain, actually moving assets around, Cardano is destroying. We're dominant. And this is just the beginning. I mean, how long has DeFi really been live in a big way on Cardano? If you count the launch of MuesliSwap, you would say late November. But MuesliSwap doesn't have liquidity pools currently. It's an order book. When we launched SundaySwap, all of a sudden there was a chance for people to lock value in a DeFi platform, and it sort of kicked off a whole nother piece of the DeFi era of Cardano. But those are only two DeFi platforms we've talked about. Sure, we had NFT activity, a lot of NFT activity, a very vibrant NFT scene on Cardano before that. But we've got a whole long list of DeFi platforms that are just waiting to launch. We've talked all about how some of them are waiting for SIPs 31 through 33, so they won't be launching until after that hard fork in June. Some of them are launching in Q1 or Q2 still. But regardless of whether they're launching in a month or two or in 4 months, we've got a whole bunch of DeFi protocols still launching. They're only going to add to the activity on the Cardano blockchain. I mean, what are these numbers going to look like then? I think it's safe to say that Cardano presenting a huge amount of utility, people actually using the blockchain to move assets around, this isn't a temporary fleeting thing. This number is only going to go up. And you could also argue, you could say, hey, this is just the base layer you're talking about here. You're not even counting all the L2s. All the action on Ethereum is in L2. Well, we can do all the L2 stuff that Ethereum can do. That doesn't change the fact that people are always going to choose the blockchain that isn't broken by fees. It's no exaggeration. In fact, it's probably really definitional that utility isn't really utility when it's too expensive to utilize. That's probably a big part of why we're crushing them in adjusted transaction volume right now. Ethereum used to be the only game in town if you were talking about an actually decentralized top 5 smart contract platform. But now there's Cardano, and it's much less expensive. The great part is we're reaching that part of the timeline where the people who already realize this aren't afraid now to scream it from the rooftops. We saw this with Kraken's intelligence report, and now we're seeing it from the likes of Weiss Crypto when they're talking about Kraken's report. They say Kraken intelligence report bills Cardano to emerge as one of the best L1 blockchains. Good to see others recognize that all the hard work and heavy research that goes into making this L1 has tremendous value. All you need to do is step back from short-term noise to see it. Well put, Weiss. There is trouble in DAO land, guys. You know, I'm a pretty big fan of DAOs, and I actually believe that DAOs will be able to outcompete corporations one day, hopefully soon. But I believe that DAOs could replace corporations. And I've done a couple of videos explaining exactly why. But there's trouble in DAO land right now. CoinDesk just ran this article called SEC Enforcement Against Wonderland Could Mean Trouble for DeFi. And while I don't agree with a lot of CoinDesk's views, especially as they pertain to Cardano, I think they might be right about this one. And they're talking about the whole Sifu Wonderland controversy. We won't go into the details on this. There's been plenty written about it. But if you just want to know the highlights, these sections are good. In late January, noted on-chain sleuth Zach XBT revealed that the treasury manager for Wonderland, a popular DeFi protocol, was in fact Michael Patron, a convicted felon and the co-founder of the fraudulent former Canadian cryptocurrency exchange Quadriga CX. And if you don't know what's going on here, this is not a Cardano DAO. This does not run on Cardano. The important thing here, though, and what I think is the scary part about all this, is this section. While Wonderland's PCV, this is protocol controlled value, was ostensibly owned by token holders, it was largely unilaterally managed by the Sestigali and Patron, using only a multi-signature scheme for security, a common tool that requires multiple signers to approve transactions. So this is the crux of the issue. We've got a bunch of DeFi protocols and DAOs, and often the DAOs are dealing in DeFi things, and we say they're decentralized. But we've got regulators like Gary Gensler, who has been very public in speeches saying that he doesn't believe that a lot of these protocols and platforms are actually decentralized. And so if the SEC digs into issues like this Wonderland thing and this Wonderland DAO, and they see that it had a bunch of assets under its control, but they were managed by a few individuals via multi-sig, it's going to be pretty easy for regulators like the SEC to say, actually, this isn't decentralized at all, and we're going to go after those parties. That's something that could happen. So it's going to be super important for Cardano DAOs now and in the future to make sure that when they call themselves decentralized autonomous organizations, they actually pay attention to that first part of the acronym. They actually need to be decentralized. If you just have a bunch of governance token holders, but there's a couple key individuals who are actually managing all the assets and can do whatever they want with those assets just by executing some multi-sig transactions between them and their buddy, you might run into problems. And this is sort of the first of these that have been very, very high profile, I think. And the SEC, it seems, based on the rhetoric we see coming out of Gary Gensler, head of the SEC, has just been waiting for something like this to gain a foothold to go after DAOs. They would love to create some precedent based on a case like this. You've got, according to CoinDesk, a convicted felon as one of the controlling people in the DAO. This is a pretty good scenario to create some precedent that those people in the DAO space may not like. So beware, Cardano DAOs probably don't do this. Here's some good news proving once again that we do have some allies in Washington. U.S. Congressman Warren Davidson introduces the Keep Your Coins Act. This is pretty important. So Bitcoin Magazine here says, if passed, the bill would prevent any agency head from prohibiting or otherwise restricting the ability of a covered user to use virtual currency or its equivalent for such users' own purposes, such as to purchase real or virtual goods and services for the user's own use or conduct transactions through a self-hosted wallet. This is really important. Self-custody of our crypto assets is one of the really easy places for the people who hate crypto in Washington to attack crypto. If they could get some kind of law or regulation passed that says, hey, you can't self-custody your own crypto, that breaks our KYC system. If they were to get something like that passed, all of a sudden, everything changes in crypto. All of a sudden, we would have to go through institutions who would custody our crypto for us. This would obviously be abhorrent for anybody in crypto. So what's the game plan? How is he going to try to get this passed? He says, hopefully we build momentum swiftly and attach it to must-pass legislation. You're probably aware of the way things work in Washington. Even if you have a really good idea, something that would make great law, you kind of have to attach it to must-pass legislation in order to even have a chance of getting it passed in a lot of cases. So who knows? We've seen how much of a labyrinth the Washington lawmaking process can be last time we got Shelby'd, but who knows? Maybe Congressman Davidson can actually get this passed. Hopefully, fingers crossed. While not being able to self-custody your crypto is a really serious possible future danger, here's something that's actually dangerous right now. DripDropz says, it has come to our attention that fake websites have been created that mimic the official DripDropz.io website. Please use extreme caution when following links to our website. Please verify that you are at our official website. And then they give you a screenshot of the URL of their actual website, not the fake version. And Lathisen of DripDropz says, the scam site works by forcing you to connect your wallet and then pretends there's an error connecting and presents you with the option to connect manually where they ask for your seed phrase. Don't fall for it. We will never ask for your seed phrase. So we're going to find out in Cardano, this is a pretty common attack vector. They have you connect your wallet. In this case, they haven't even built an actual wallet connector, an actual dApp connector. They just have sounds like they have a fake dApp connector that then asks you for the seed phrase. On the Ethereum side, we've already seen that it very quickly gets this level of sophistication where they have a legit wallet connector. They connect to your wallet, and then they sort of covertly ask you to send them all of your funds, and you accidentally do it because you think you're doing something else. In this case, it sounds like they're just trying to get your seed phrase, but we'll pretty quickly get to the point where they'll have actual wallet connectors. They'll have you connect your wallet thinking you're going to do what you're intending to do, and they actually have you send all of your funds. So be very, very careful when you are trying to use utilities like DripDropz or anything else where you're going to be doing anything with your wallet. Obviously, as always, never give your seed phrase to anyone, but also be aware we'll get to that point where they will actually let you connect your wallet with a dApp connector, and then they'll trick you into sending all of your assets. I got to hand it to them. Crypto people are smart people, and crypto people who support the proof of work blockchains have done a fantastic job spin doctoring the intensive energy use of those blockchains. Unfortunately for them, despite all that intellectual energy spent, it looks like international organizations are seeing right through that. Here we see, in the wake of the World Wildlife Federation scrapping their energy intensive NFT offerings, IOHK Media is telling us education on the difference between proof of work and proof of stake needs to be done. And I think that's true, because when you see articles about this kind of thing, they just say NFTs are very energy intensive. Blockchains are too energy intensive. And the people writing the articles don't really know the difference between a blockchain like Cardano, here labeled the world's largest green blockchain, and something like Bitcoin, which truly does use a lot of energy. And it's really interesting watching Bitcoin maximalists rationalize that energy usage. And they come up with some great, very creative arguments. But at the end of the day, organizations like the World Wildlife Fund, they're not going to buy into all that. They're not going to buy it. They're just going to say, are you using too much energy right now? If so, we probably can't jump on board. Sure, you've got all these plans for the future and you're explaining how it's not really what it looks like, but it looks like they're not going to buy into that. The great thing is there is an answer in Cardano. I think the energy misallocation argument against proof of work blockchains, the proponents of that argument, they're just going to become louder and louder as time goes on. I don't think they're going to become quieter. I think they're going to become louder and louder. And that's just going to make Cardano look better, even better as time goes on. I hope you're having a great week, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.